All right, 3-3, complex numbers. How can I perform operations on imaginary and complex numbers? All right, first of all, square root of 4. What is the square root of 4? You're half right. You're half right. All right, let's think about it. 2 times 2 is 4, so that's what a square root means, right? It's the same number multiplied together to get another number. What about this? What's negative 2 times negative 2? So I'll ask you again, what's the square root of 4? 2 and negative 2. We can combine that into 1. Plus or minus 2. Yay. From what? You did this last year.
Like that, like the
Oh, okay. I thought you meant complex numbers. I was like, that's impressive.
I don't remember.
All right. All right. Just to make sure that we understand this one more time, what's the square root of 36? Plus or minus 6. Thank you, Siri. Appreciate it. She's half right. All right, question for someone smart. Birthday girl. What's the square root of negative 25? All right, 5. But I thought square was the same exact number multiplied twice. 5 times 5 is 25. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. What does that say? Yeah, I haven't taught it to you yet. So really, if I was to do this on my calculator, if I was to go to my calculator and do second square root negative 25, it gives me the middle finger emoji. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It says non-real answer. So what's another name for non-real? Imaginary. Not no solution. There is a solution. We can talk about it during detention next week if you want. And put your phone away. All right. So here we go. Time for some new, interesting, weird stuff. Square root of negative 1. Square root of negative 1 is called the imaginary number I. It's just a lowercase I. And this is one of the few things in math that actually makes sense. I for imaginary. Like M for slope makes no frickin' sense whatsoever. All I can think of is M for mountain, like mountain slope. I don't know. You are exactly correct. Yes. But B for y-intercept makes no sense. So, where you begin. So, all right, here we go. Pure imaginary numbers are in the form BI where B is a real number and I equals the square root of negative 1. All right, this is going to be confusing right now. So just bear with me. We'll try and make sense of it as we go. The square root of negative b squared. I can split that into two pieces. I can pull out the negative I, or excuse me, the negative 1, which will turn into I. So square root of negative 1 times the square root of b squared. What's the square root of b squared? What happens to the square and the square root? They do what? Cancel out to leave plus or minus b. And what did we say the square root of negative 1 was? I. There you go.
I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, for that.
What is math?
I don't know. We can write an essay on that for over Thanksgiving break. So,
Like every other math I get, but
Kyla, we haven't done anything yet, so just be patient. All right. For those of you that plan on going to college, you need to take a entrance exam, correct? Well, unless you're going to St. Pete College, which accepts everyone has a check that clears. If you plan on going to a different college, and I'm not degrading St. Pete College, I have a lot of former students who have gone there, and actually there's teachers that have gone there. So, but if you want to go to one of these schools up on the wall, you need an entrance exam score. And who is the main entrance exam companies? What are the two tests that you normally take to get into college? There is a 100% chance you're going to see on the ACT math portion what I'm about to teach you. So, I would say 99.9% chance. I hate to say 100%, but it's pretty much 100%. So we said that I equals the square root of negative 1. It's an imaginary number. Next, we have I squared. I squared equals negative 1. What?
I wrote this for everyone again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. So if it's like a square number, there is no square root. It's just a number.
Hold on. I'm not sure I understand. Let's just continue on, and if you have questions later, I'll try and answer them then. All right, so I cubed equals negative I or negative square root of negative 1. Because remember, square root of negative 1 is the same as I, so it's the same thing. Okay. Hold on. That is I cubed. Thank you, Kate. And then we have I to the 4, which is simply 1. That's it. That's all there is for. And then it repeats over, but we'll learn about that later in the chapter. All right. Let's continue on. Complex numbers. And don't worry about understanding this right now. I don't expect you to understand it. I haven't taught it to you, so just go with it for right now. We'll come back to it. We'll circle back. Imaginary and real numbers together make the set of complex numbers. So like I said, complex numbers are more than one part. That's all complex means. More than one part. All right, they are written I don't know why it's not wroten, but I know it's not. They are written. They have wrote. I don't know. That's why I don't teach language arts. They are written in the form A plus BI. And just to try and eliminate a little bit of confusion, I'm going to go back in time a little bit to this one here, I squared. I squared is simply, actually, I might make this worse. Let's just go on. Let me go on. I don't want to make it worse. Sometimes you have good intentions and it just goes south. And let's just not try and cross that bridge today. We will Monday, maybe. All right, example 1. Let's do some math. Enough of the definitions and other stuff. The square root of negative 294. First of all, this is going to split into 2 pieces before we even start. We're going to pull the negative 1 out because we don't like the negative 1 being under our radical. So square root of negative 1, there, I just got it out. When I do that, what's left? You're a step ahead. 294, square root of 294. And as you correctly said, the square root of negative 1 turned into I. Annalise, are you okay? John, are you okay? All right. So now I learned like 15 years ago the easiest way of breaking down a square root, and I'm going to share that knowledge with you right now. What we're looking for is a square root is how many numbers? A square is what? 2. So we're looking, believe it or not, there's actually a 2 there, even though you don't see it. There's a 2 right there. It's called an index. So we are looking for squares. We're looking for 2 of the same number. We're looking for twins. First of all, we need to break this down as small as we can, like prime factorization. Turn it into all prime numbers. What is a number that goes into 294? Does someone want to, besides 1? Does 2 go? That ends in 4, so doesn't 2 go? It has to, so let's do 2. 2 and 147. I'll help you out with that advanced math. All right, so will 2 break down? Just 2 and 1. That does us no good. Does 147 break down? Does 2 go into it? Does 3? Maybe. How do we find out if it goes into? No, there's an easier way than using your calculator. What is 1 plus 4? 5. What's 5 plus 7? Does 3 go into 12? Then 3 goes into this number. 3 and 49. Yep. Up. Sorry. Annalise distracted me. Annalise, go sit in IC. All right, so 3 and 49 equal 147. Are there factors that go into 49? 7 and 7. Like we said, our index is 2, so we're looking for twins. If it was 3, we would be looking for triplets. That is called a cube root. We're not doing that today. I'm just foreshadowing. All right, so I have twins, so I circle my twins. Yes, that's what twin means. Same number. All right, does the 3 have a twin?
No.
Bad 3. It gets a box. Does the 2 have a twin?
No.
Bad 2. It gets a box. All right, so let's see who gets out. The 7 had a twin. So it gets out. So remember, it's plus or minus 7. Did the negative 1 get out of jail? Did it get out of the radical? When it turned into an I, it did. The caterpillar turned into a butterfly and flew away. I don't think I've ever used that before in my 12 years of teaching. It was on the fly. All right, next, we have our radical. That's what the square root symbol is called, a radical. And then we do 2 times 3 is 6. That's your final answer. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I try. You know, sometimes though, Kyla, I almost think that I make it easier than it really is. And then people think it's easy and it's not always so easy. So here's a good example. Watching Tiger Woods hit a golf ball, you would think it's the easiest thing in the world. It's not. Well, Tiger Woods could be swinging a golf ball next to me. That doesn't make it mean I'm going to hit it good. All right, try that with your table mates, please. And honestly, this is the hardest part about today's lesson. Jono, what are you doing? Do you need scissors? Just asking. I was trying to help. Did you get an answer? I'm taking that as a no.
What happens if we don't get any points?
You will on this one. Five goes into 75, but there's a bigger number that goes in too. There's a bigger number.
We got 15, we got 5 and 15.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over this. First of all, it splits into square root of -1 and square root of 75. Someone said 5 goes into 75. Are they correct? Yes, so 5 and 15. 5 and 15. What goes into 15? 5 and 3. Do we have any twins? Looks like twins to me.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that. I thought it had to be like in the same factor.
We're looking for twins. All right, so does 3 have a twin? All right, so what is the square root of -1? All right, so our final answer is plus or minus, now you got me nervous, 5i. And who went to jail? All right, just for, I almost said a bad word, shiggles, I can say that. Let's pretend that you knew that 3/4 equaled 75 cents.
Oh, 3 and 25. Dang it.
You could have done 3 and 25, 5 and 5.
Dang. It's okay. Either way works.
Yes, that's the point of this. Either way works. Plus or minus 5i square root 3.
So like the last problem, we did 2 steps and you boxed 2 numbers.
On this one?
No, on the last one.
This one, I circled the 2. The two circled got out of the radical.
No, on example 1.
Oh, this one. Yes, I multiplied them together.
So when you factor
Hold on.
them
Okay, no, go ahead. I thought you were talking to me.
down, when you factor them down, so like you know how we got the 294, right? So when you factor them down, I got the 2, and 147, the two can like reduce. So you square it. Like you put extra on it, and then the 147 factors down. And just
Oh, so whenever it's in its smallest form,
Yeah.
that's
So when it's in its smaller form.
When it's a prime number.
And then at the very end, you multiply them together.
Are we gonna combine them?
In just a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have 1, 2, a check, a sentence, and 2 examples.
Okay.
It's not as much as it sounds like, I promise.
Okay, go. Be ready.
All right, here we go. First thing, I'm going to split these into 2 pieces, each one. Well, because it's a negative, that's why. So what I'm going to do is split this into square root of negative 1 times square root of 10. And do the same exact thing with the other one. Square root of negative 1 times square root of 15. Alright, what's the square root of negative 1 the same as? So I have I square root 10 times the square root of negative 1 is I square root 15. What is I times I?
I squared.
And 10 times 15? 150. Very good.
Oh, we're just combining like 3 of them?
Yeah, that's all we did. So now that we have this, can we break down the square root of 150?
Yes.
Yes. I personally would probably do 2 and 75. And then 75, I'm sorry for you people that did 5 and 15. You weren't wrong, but that's not the easiest way of doing it. I would do 3 and 25. So Ty, 25 breaks down into 5 and 5. Those are all prime numbers, correct? So now what we're looking for is twins. Do we have any twins? So we circle the twins. And as a group, the twins get out of jail. The 2 and the 3 do not have twins. So unfortunately for them, they go to jail. So what's going on? We're going to keep going. Did we say I squared was the same as a number? What was that number? Do you remember?
What?
Negative 1, right? So the 5 is getting out of the jail. It needs to multiply by I squared. So 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. 2 times 3 is 6. You're going to get a lot of practice on this tomorrow.
So we don't have to put I in at all?
No.
So if I is just by itself, it's really fine to put I in. Oh.
All right. That is harder than what we're going to do the rest of today.
Okay.
I promise.
Is this
Why? You want to do harder stuff?
No.
Okay.
Do it check now or?
Not yet. There should be a check, but I would rather you spend the time on your homework.
Okay.
All right, what are we doing with this problem? Solving for x. So it's just like a normal two-step equation. What do I get rid of first?
81.
Okay. So subtract 81 from both sides. So now we have to do the inverse of, or opposite operation of a square, which is what? Square root. So I'm going to square root both sides. And what happens to the square and the square root? They cancel out. So now square root of 81, the first thing we have to do is pull out the negative. How do I do that? Square root of negative 1. Yeah, I'm just showing you step by step.
Oh, okay.
But yes, you could just do that. Square root of 81. What is the square root of negative 1 the same as? And what's the square root of 81? Half right?
Oh, it's negative 9 is
So my final answer is plus or minus 9i. Told you that was easier than example 2. All right, try this with your table mates, please. And we'll go over it in a few. And I'm going to try and take attendance while we do this. What?
Hold on.
Okay. Okay, well, we're going to go over it in like 30 seconds. All right, who said they thought they got it wrong? Kate, talk me through it. What should I do?
Subtract 0.7.
So far, so good.
Okay. I see what I did. Okay, now I get it.
All right, square root of 9 is plus or minus 3. The square root of negative 1 is I.
I did it differently. I got the answer and then I divided everything by 3 because I still have 3x. No, I got x equals I square root of 1.
All right, so we have a sentence to write, 2 examples, and the examples are actually even easier than this. Okay. I'm in no hurry. I'm here till 3 o'clock today, and I get to go to practice for an hour and a half. For, I think, maybe. Varsity, yes.
What day is that?
Wednesday the 15th.
Okay.
All right, let me know when I can go on. All right, based on the lack of no one tell me don't not. Were you done?
Wait.
All right, adding or subtracting complex numbers. Yes, because I was out of room. No, I was at the bottom of here, so I had no room to write it. So for me, it had to be on a new page. We're just continuing on. I mean, it's not as important as fixing Annalise's hair, but it's close. All right, here we go. Combine the real parts and then combine the imaginary parts. So that's what it means, complex. Complex is made up of a real number and an imaginary number. That's what makes it complex. And we went back earlier and we said they are written in the form, where are you here? They are written in the form of A plus BI. So that means A is our real numbers, I is our imaginary number. So real number then imaginary number is the correct order. So example 4, parentheses, -4 plus 6I plus -2 minus 9I.
Is this where we do like a formula?
We're just combining like terms, that's all we're doing. And like terms are either real numbers or imaginary numbers. So it's actually, this is, like I said, this is pretty simple, Cam. -4 minus 2 is, if I borrow $4 and borrow 2 more, how much have I borrowed?
Oh, I didn't put the negative on the 4.
Alright, so I have borrowed $6. Let's go on to the imaginary numbers. 6I minus 9I is, or -3I. Sorry, Kate, your table mate's having issues.
I'm sorry. Please don't do that. Hey,
The struggle is real.
yes, struggle has been real.
Do we really need to do a check on that, or do we kind of have that?
I don't got it. Can we do another one?
No. Alright, that's what homework's for, and I know I just didn't hear an F-bomb come from someone. What? Okay, just making sure. Alright, example 5 is one step harder than example 4.
Okay.
What? I said example 5 is one step harder than example 4. 3 minus 2I minus -4 plus I. Can we combine, can we just flat out subtract as it is right now? No. What property do we have to do? So I'm going to distribute the negative. Is anything whatsoever happen to the 3 minus 2I in front? Negative times -4 is negative times I is, so I forget which goes first, the real number or the imaginary?
Real.
Alright, so break out your calculators or your fingers. 3 plus 4 is -2I minus 1I is that it? Is that in real number then imaginary? I almost said fake number. Real number then imaginary number form? Does it get any harder than that? Not today. Are we done?
Yes.
Do you have homework on this?